Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been asked to make a guide for people who have never actually been to Warcraft, World of Warcraft, or any of the games that I've been talking about, so here goes. World of Warcraft. Oh wow, this is loud. So, World of Warcraft is a multiplayer online game.
4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood
let's just
united
enjoy
against
this
the might of the Burning Legion.
cinematic.
Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
Look, a dwarf hunter. Okay guys, so I'm gonna let you enjoy the cinematic on your own, but this is just this was just a bit of a teaser for people who've never played the game. Well, I think you should watch the cinematic. Every time I watch it, I just want to come back and play. So what is World of Warcraft? World of Warcraft is a massive multiplayer online game, meaning lots of people playing together in a digital world, either completing quests together or just wandering about doing whatever. I think the fun thing about this game is that you can pretty much do it at any pace you like, in any manner you like. You can rush through the game with a group of 5 people and just kill everything as fast as you can to get to the cap level, which in World of Warcraft Classic is 60, just like the original game. You can play the current, which has a cap level of 120, and expansions going out every now and then, and a new expansion coming out soon. Or you can just try the free game up to level 20, which has both current and classic, just to see if you like what you're seeing. Let's talk a little bit about characters. Basically, World of Warcraft is divided between 2 factions, the Alliance and the Horde. There are no really good guys or bad guys. It's just about how you see yourself in the game, I suppose. The Alliance is humans, dwarves, night elves, and gnomes, and the Horde is orcs, undead, Tauren, and trolls, which believe, well, anyway, I'll let you find out about the characters on your own. So these are just 8 races. Later on there are new races and new classes, and new classes for every race. And basically, first of all, you choose a side. I used to play Horde for many years, but my original character in vanilla was Alliance, so I thought I'll just go back there and start a dwarf hunter. I'm having tons of fun now. Choose a side. Choose who you want to be, you know, and there would be a female priest, dwarf, or an undead rogue male, which used to kill me so many times as a dwarf, which made me open my first rogue undead. Every race has unique traits, I won't go a lot into them, but basically they will synergize well with some type of class. So trolls have throwing and bow experience, 5 more levels for using bows, so they could be great hunters. They also have berserk, which increases attack and cast speed, though, so they'll make great mages. Later on they'll make nice druids. Night elves have fade into shadow, so they could actually be really nice as a hunter with a pet that can also hide. And every race has some kind of ability that makes him unique, and that should be, well, I wouldn't go by that unless you're really going to be very invested in your first character, but just go with what makes you feel like, oh yeah, I want to play that. That should be your start. Then you should choose a class. Let's look at trolls for a minute. For example, trolls can be warriors, hunters, rogues. I didn't remember they could be. Okay, never mind. Mages, shamans, or priests. Classes divide into 3 specific roles when you actually play the game. So a paladin and a warrior, but also a druid, can be tanks. Tanks are classes that have a lot of stamina, not a lot of DPS, damage per second, and are basically the class that will lead other people into places where you need to go as a group. So you will create aggravation, and call all kinds of creatures to fight you. You'll have many skills that allow you to mitigate damage or absorb damage, and the other characters playing with you, say in your party you have a hunter and mage, they'll be shooting from afar, and maybe a rogue, which will be hitting from close because he's a melee ranged character, and maybe you'll have a priest that's healing you. So a tank is usually someone who needs to know the game, know how to deal with mobs. Mobs are bunches of enemies, and know the dungeons, because you're expected to lead through the dungeon and kind of set the pace. It's not a lot of fun starting your first character as a tank, because you don't have a lot of damage and kind of progression could be a bit slow. But even if you do choose to be a paladin or a warrior, you are able to change your character in a way that build your character, build your abilities, build your skills in a way that you can be just a DPS, a damage per second. If you're a paladin, you can also be a healer. So certain classes have abilities to be different roles, and all that is of course in concern with groups. My guides, if you've seen them, or probably not if you're totally new to the game, are solo characters. Solo characters mean I kind of wander the world alone, and I only group up with people when there's something that I can't do on my own. But that's just the way I enjoy looking through, kind of roaming through this world of Azeroth. In my opinion, the best characters for solo are hunters, rogues. Again, this is just my opinion. Rogues are hard to play, but they have skills that allow them to be useful in solo situations. You could play a tank, a warrior, or a paladin and be a solo, and you could also be a warlock. The reason is hunters and warlocks, for example, have a pet that is basically their tank. The tank pulling the aggravation from the mob, and you just shooting from afar. So try to understand the different roles in the game, try to understand the different classes, but honestly, if you're asking me for the first time just jumping into WoW, look at what makes you feel, ah, this is so cool, I want to be a druid that changes forms, and just roll with it. Start playing the game, start interacting with people, start interacting with the world, and understand what this world is about, and just enjoy it. And maybe your first character will be something you're like, okay, that's not how I enjoy playing the game, because I can see there are different ways to do it, and you'll just roll a new character, which is fine. On my current, I have, I think, 30 characters, maybe 10 of them cap level of 120, of different classes, because every time I have a hankering to play a different role, or maybe now I want to be a tank and kind of lead raids and lead dungeons and kind of set the pace because I'm in that mood. And some other times I'm just kind of playing a rogue because I just want to do PvP, person versus person. And the fun thing is that, well, you're not limited. You can play any character you like. You can open, I think, up to 50 characters. It used to be 10 characters per server times 5 servers or something. And you can be anything you like and just enjoy the world and see it through different eyes every time. This specific character that I'm playing now, this dwarf hunter, is supposed to be my first character in WoW Classic. It's a bit of a throwback to my original character in World of Warcraft, which was a dwarf hunter. As I said, it used to be ganked a lot. Ganked meaning being killed unexpectedly by undead rogues, because I had no idea what I was doing. I was on a PvP server. Later on, I rolled a rogue undead and had tons of fun with it, because you can just switch up and play another character. Don't worry too much about what you see. Don't worry about level 60s and their mounts and their insane gear and everything is like insane. Just pick the character that you feel that is going to be the most fun for you, start rolling with it, and just learn the game by playing. After that, after you've had a little bit of fun and you're like, okay, I want to experience this maybe a bit differently. I want to be maybe more into dungeons with groups. I want to do more PvP because I had fun there. Maybe you're like, yeah, I just want to roam the world solo, but this character that I started isn't good enough for that. Then just roll a new one and send yourself gold in the mail and start easier. But in any case, I think the best idea, if you're first time in World of Warcraft, just go in, roll a character that makes you feel nice, and just level it up as you see fit. It really doesn't matter. You can do anything you want. The rate at which you play is not controlled by anybody. You can roam the world just killing creatures, not doing any quest, and leveling for a year. No one will care. If you enjoy that, then just do that. It really doesn't matter. You can come in with a friend and go do dungeons and join a guild, and if you want the social part of it, I think that's the beauty of this game. Any type of gameplay that you fancy is available here. Do yourself a favor, and if you do like the game and do want to start playing, in my opinion, after just starting this WoW Classic, start with that. I know none of this will be transferable into your World of Warcraft current if you ever decide to buy that, or if you ever decide to buy the expansions or whatever. But the leveling in current is, in my opinion, a bit soul-sucking, because no one else is leveling at your pace. Everyone has heirlooms, which are pieces of gear that level with you, so you can just stand here in the middle of a city of your faction and just automatically join groups to do dungeons and PvP until you're cap level, or just go and do whatever you like. But I think WoW Classic is a way to enjoy this huge amount of content from 0 to 60, 0 to level 60, that has been kind of lost in the current version. And I think it's a much better way to understand and enjoy different characters. And I think you'll have a lot of fun doing that. And later on, when you already know what this is about, you can join current, buy the expansions, and then just quickly level a character and see what has changed, because so much has changed. Anything from flying mounts to different cap levels to different races and different classes that have been added to the game. And then you'll just have fun with that new content, as if you were playing 2005 through 2020 on your own. WoW Classic is just as fun as I remember vanilla, and I don't think it's ever too late to kind of join in, because it's 15 years old and it's still fun in my opinion, and I've played it so many times. I think one of the things that I thought about maybe after 3-4 years, when Burning Crusade and Cataclysm came out, Lich King, I think I was thinking to myself, what if I could just forget everything and start WoW for the first time, as if I don't know it? How much fun would that be? Just like starting a character in seasonal Diablo, if you know what I mean. Just like with nothing on you and just starting fresh. And I think that 15 years later, after pretty much missing out on vanilla, because I joined maybe 2 months before Burning Crusade came out, because that's when the game reached my country. So I already was in a rush to get a flying mount and get to level 70 before I even knew what the game was about. I think that the years and just jumping into Classic has given me a chance to do just that. So if you ask me, start with Classic, start with a free account, just level a couple characters, see what you feel like, and enjoy the game. Cheers. As dwarves say here, fancy a pint. Let's see. Oh, come on, say it.
What can I do for you?
Oh no, she's just being helpful.
See you soon.
Anyway, have fun and enjoy the game. And if you have anything that you want to ask, ask in the comments, and just let me know what you think and what's interesting for you. I'll probably be doing leveling and solo guides, so that's one type. There are guides out there for pretty much any way you want to play. If you just want to do PvP, if you just want to do dungeons and raids, there's a guide for it out there, but this is going to be my take on things. I hope you like it, and like, comment, and subscribe. This will help me out, and ask me anything in the comments. See you later.